The Brian Flores and Miami Dolphins situation continues to unfold after Brian Flores was fired earlier this week. With this coming out today from a Dolphins beat reporter saying privately Flores was not a big fan of his starting quarterback. The picture one gets from multiple sources, including coaches on the Flores staff, is of a coach frustrated by Tagovailoa's work ethic. Flores thought it was per one source, SH, you got the word. Uh, Flores was frustrated because he didn't think Tagovailoa put in extra time on Mondays and Tuesdays during game week. And if you know Flores, this won't surprise. Flores didn't keep quiet about it. He was really hard on Tagovailoa about it, per a source, even in the presence of others. When Flores would find out Tagovailoa was golfing on off days during the season, he'd become upset and criticize him for that. Flores benched Tagovailoa twice his rookie season, despite making him the starter, because he felt veteran Ryan Fitzpatrick gave the Dolphins a better chance to win. By the end of the 2020 season, Flores had lost. So basically, this is saying that Brian Flores hated Tagovailoa and did not want him as the Dolphins starting quarterback, which is kind of weird because we've seen the opposite happen, or we've heard the opposite being the case over the last 2 years because of Deshaun Watson. We heard that ownership wanted Deshaun Watson and like Brian Flores wanted Tua. So it was really weird that all this stuff is coming out right now. And to be honest, all these Dolphins fans are defending it. Like Flores was terrible. He didn't like Tua, which could be the case, but it just seems really odd. And first off, if Tua was golfing in the middle of the season, and I don't mean to like criticize him or anything, it's not really my place, but I don't think there's the other 31 starting quarterbacks are golfing in the middle of the season or not putting in the extra work. I mean, it's the NFL. If you want to win, if you want to be a starter, like you got to put in the work, and I could see why Brian Flores is upset. I mean, when you're the starting quarterback, you're held to a different standard than everyone else. Like, that's great if all of his other teammates are going out golfing and stuff. But you're the starting quarterback for an NFL franchise. That job literally only exists for 32 people in the entire world. You have if you want to stay one of those 32 people, you have to put in the extra time. And I could see Brian Flores being hard on him for that. I mean, Brian Flores, being a defensive guy, I don't think he's going to, put his quarterback on a pedestal and treat him differently than everyone else. He's going to treat him just the same. He doesn't care that if the quarterback gets upset with him or anything. To him, it's just another player. And that's just my assumption of it. I think Brian Flores is he's probably a tough coach. He looks like a tough coach, like based on the way he acts on the sidelines, with his players, from things that have come out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a tough coach. I mean, he came from New England. He probably, has a similar style of coaching as Bill Belichick, or, took some things that Bill Belichick does. And it doesn't mean he's a terrible person or anything. And I still don't think that should be, cause for the coach being fired if he doesn't have a great relationship with his quarterback, because the quarterback is just as much on Tua as it is for Brian Flores. Like, if your coach doesn't want you to be doing something and you're just going to keep doing it, like, you're the one also hurting that relationship. Like, oh, you can't tell me what to do. Well, yeah, I mean, that is true. Maybe you have to have a working relationship, but obviously we don't know what happens behind the scenes and stuff like that. And if Tua's getting upset, oh, you're calling me out in front of your teammates. It's the NFL. Like, this is your job. People get called out at their normal jobs, and I don't want to be one of those people like, oh, you get to live in the NFL. Like, you're not. I'm not trying to say things like that. I'm just saying, like, when you got to grow up at some point, right? And I feel like I'm being way too critical on him and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to defend Brian Flores. Like, I could see him being very tough, on a young kid. He wants to see success for him, and just because he's tough on him doesn't mean that he hates him. He wanted to see better for him. He wanted to see Tua flourish. Maybe, he saw a lot higher than what Tua in his rookie season. Tua couldn't throw the ball 20 yards accurately. Like, it was crazy. He probably saw better of Tua or wanted better for Tua. Regardless if he wanted Deshaun Watson or not. I mean, what coach in the NFL doesn't want Deshaun Watson as their quarterback, right? It just seems like a crazy story. It seems like the Dolphins organization is trying to, grasp onto anything to, defend their firing of Brian Flores. If it comes down to Tua or Brian Flores, I think there's at least 30% of NFL teams are going to pick Brian Flores over Tua. I don't think Tua has proven himself in the NFL yet, and Brian Flores, not that he has, but he's been able to coach teams that people didn't expect to be as good as they are into decent teams. Almost making the playoffs last year. Despite all this QB controversy that was apparently happening behind the scenes with Brian Flores hating his starting quarterback. It just seems weird. It seems like the Dolphins are reaching on anything to make Brian Flores seem like the bad guy here, and I don't like when organizations do that. Like if you fire him, that's one thing, fine. You're gonna have to deal with the criticism, and you let that die out until you hire your new coach and things start to go aside. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm on Brian Flores' side. It just seems like so weird, everything that's coming out about this. Why are all these things being leaked? Brian Flores is not the one leaking these things because it's trying to make him look bad. It's definitely the Dolphins organization, Dolphins owner. And honestly, I think that's just hurting their future of what coach wants to come to Miami. Why would you want to go to a place that's going to leak everything if things don't go well? Things just seem really, really bad there. Let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think Brian Flores really hated Tua? Do you think is maybe being over amplified by the media? Do you think the Miami Dolphins owners are the one leaking this to the public? It just seems like a crazy story. Let me know whose side you're on, what you guys think is going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed the Super Wildcard Weekend games this weekend, and that's it.